Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
I'm your host Yash Thakur, and we are back with another episode of Las Blancas. This one is the first podcast of 2025. Unfortunately, the last pod also came out in 2025, which we had recorded the year prior to that. But this is officially the first recording of Las Blancas in the year 2025. Hope everyone listening had a brilliant year, and we are off to a good start as well with the team. Our first game of 2025 was a Madrid derby, a game that we haven't won in the last six iterations. We haven't won this game since December of 2022. So it's been a while. Derbies have been, very cutthroat, last minute equalizers, late equalizers, us playing bad football and all of that. But this one was a bit different. We ended up winning the game, and there are a lot of talking points to get through. And as always, to do all of that, I've got Kanita with me. Kanita, how are you today?
Our dear club did indeed wish us a happy new year with the first win in a big game this season and the first derby win in 2 years. So yeah, we've gone 2 calendar years without a derby win. And yeah, the very first game of 2025, boom, derby and win. Oh my god, I don't know. After like almost 25 months, yeah, this is refreshing. Yeah, finally, honestly. And yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful year in this first first
We
week of it. So yeah, our club wished us a happy new year. Both teams actually with the wins. So yeah, fun.
and more than the win, what surprised us was that, looking at the lineups, like this was the exact same lineup that we started against Chelsea. And we had this discussion as soon as the lineups were out. Oh, we are going to do the same thing as Chelsea. And I was a little cautious about whether the thing that worked with Chelsea will work against Atleti, because Atleti traditionally have been a side who have looked to play on the counter against us. They are not concerned about pressing us. They are okay with us having the ball. And then they'll seize that moment, that one chance, and they'll pass it to Ajibade, and Ajibade will score. Previously, Ludmila as well. Like it has been the theme, right? Like they'll kill us on transitions, and that is what they do so well against us. So I had my doubts, but let's quickly go through the lineups and start our discussion there, I guess. So as I mentioned, the lineup was the same as the Chelsea game. Misa in goal, Sheila starting as the right back, Maria Mendes and Lakrar partnership at the centre back, Olga as always starting as the left back, Angeldahl, Loipol, Stoletti, and Linda Caicedo in a line of four with Weir and Brun as front two. Like, it was more of a 4-2-3-1 still on paper, but Angeldahl was the right winger and sort of tucking in, with Weir operating in the number 10 spot, and Linda also plugging in to play in that left half space with Olga bombing forward. So it was a similar structure. You call it a 4-4-2, a 4-2-3-1. It's all the same thing. It's how it plays out in the on the field that matters, I feel. Uh, so looking at the lineup, Kanita, what were your initial reactions to it?
Yeah, it was. I immediately recognized the Chelsea lineup, and I'm like, so Shehi and Angeldal again. Okay, let's see. It was like our. I was looking at our right hand side a lot, especially in the rewatch. So I was a bit sad that they didn't really work this game. It was a different kind, was different build up as well. Like we didn't have the build up from the back like we had against Chelsea. So yeah, the right hand side didn't really work in this game. But I know I kept texting you. Why is our right side so off? Like, is it us or is it Atleti? And I was just like during the game, I was so confused. So yeah, that was like my main thought about when I saw the lineup. I was excited to see these two again combining, but like I said, it didn't happen really. And the rest, well, it was standard. I was the Linda and Weir duo. I'm always excited to see, and they did indeed make mark in this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, these are some of the main things I saw with the lineup. And yeah, Olga as always. Back to Olga as always.
Yeah, and there is a thing to talk about her position as well, because now we officially have Yasmim. So we will be talking a little bit about her towards the end of the pod as well. But yeah, I mean, looking at the lineup, the first thing that when I was rewatching, the first thing that I looked back was trying to compare this lineup to the one that won against Atleti the last time, which was in December of 2022. And, looking back is always a good sort of recap to see how your squad has progressed, right? So between these two lineups, we have four players who started that game as well. We have Misa, we have Olga, we have Toletti, and we have Weir, who started that game when we last won against Atleti, a 1-0 victory where Kathleen scored that winner late on. But yeah, I mean, if you look at that, we have added a number 9. We have undergone a change in midfield. We have a new look defense basically this season. We have a brilliant young player who is, absolutely made for these big moments, and she always steps up. And it's interesting, right? Like when you look back at our squad, what it was a couple of years ago, just a couple of years ago, it's very heartening to see. Like we have improved in various departments. Performance, non-performance does not matter, but like just looking back at the players that we had and the players that we have now, we are clearly a better squad individually when you compare the players, and the difference is like very, very stark when you just scroll through the lineups of past. But yeah, my initial concern about this lineup was, and we had discussed this at length in the Chelsea pod, the reason it worked so well against Chelsea was for two reasons. Number one, Chelsea is a side that likes to press, that likes to suffocate their opponent in their own third. So that is what they were trying to do, and that is exactly what we wanted them to do, right? Because with the sort of support that we had during the build-up, with Loipols dropping on the outside of the center backs, or Toletti dropping on the outside of the center backs, and us having a back three sort of build-up against Chelsea's front two, was always going to be an advantageous position for us, and that proved true. Uh, but the other reason that it worked so well was because Chelsea had gone behind pretty early on in the game, right? Like inside 7 minutes, we were already up. And that forced Chelsea to even come out of their shell even more, right? Like now they were even more eager to press us, to regain the ball, and to put the scores level. And that is why that first half was so good. The difference here was with Atleti, they were not interested from the moment the game started. They were just not interested. They were not engaging at all. As soon as we got the ball, there was a turnover, whether it was in our defensive third or whatever, they just fell back. Like there was just one player who was maybe in our half. Everybody else from Atleti was inside their own half. They were just not concerned. They were playing this weird mid to low block, very compact, and whatever, if it's their plan, I totally get it. And it worked. It frustrated us, like you mentioned, like the right side was not working. And I think the credit for that goes to them as well. Like they were very compact and making it very difficult. They were not taking our bait to sort of press us and jump up so that we can play through them. And fair enough, there was also one player who was really good on that left hand side for them, that helped them shut down our right hand side completely. Silvia, we'll talk about her as well later on in the pod. But I think these are the main two reasons. First, Chelsea is a side that want to keep the ball, that want to be on the ball, but Atleti, on the other hand, are a team that that are not much concerned about this. Like, they are okay conceding possession, they are okay with their opposition dictating the flow of the game, as long as they get that one moment, they get that transition. And that is what they were trying to do. And eh, that is why this lineup that looked so good in the first half against Chelsea looked all right in this game in the first half. And there were not those quick passing sequences that allowed us to play through Chelsea in this game. So yeah, I mean, that is one of the things that was a big factor in this game. And the lack of an early goal also played a part, because since the game was in a neutral game state, like, they had no incentive, Atleti, to come out of their shell and to try to press us, right? So getting the first goal in this game was going to be important, and we got that first goal. Thanks to a player who was absolutely brilliant, who has been absolutely brilliant in these games against Atleti, be it Barcelona, be it Chelsea, always the difference maker. Kanita, what do you have to say about Linda Caicedo's performance in this game?
It's Well, first of all, the goal, it's funny because when we were talking about Atleti not being interested in anything, I remember that they were kind of pulled more to their left side. Like, mostly they were, I don't know, they left also a lot of space for Linda and Weir and Olga. Like, whenever you see like either Olga or Linda, there's a ton of space on our left side. So what actually made me think it's this goal actually started from our right hand side, so the left side. So we were I think it was a throw in, and there was like a commotion that we managed to recover it in the end. Toletti pushed the foot forward to pass it to Weir there to recover the ball. And yeah, she saw Linda and she went through and she carried it and shot it from the edge of the box. I mean, she even confused Lola. Like, you can see her stand in place because she
Yeah,
thought she
she
would
was
shoot to the
rooted.
other side.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
rooted.
yeah,
Cutting
yeah,
in, she sold that shot towards the far post, and then she went near post.
yeah, yeah.
Very
She
good.
was, and Lola was like, what happened? So yeah, I thought that she was going to shoot there on, so not blaming Lola there. So yeah, but I think the fact that who the the assistant, the goal, pretty much sums up the game. Because the duo of Veer and no, not Olga, Linda in this game, with Olga helping as well. It was crazy. Like, whenever we try to do something was through these two, especially through, like, Linda was the main woman
Right.
there, doing dictating the pace and all. And I know whenever we tried to get the ball to Brun during the game, which we didn't manage like at all. We managed to get it once, and it was a difficult header as well. And she had to dive for it, but it was difficult. So whenever we tried to get it to Brun, it was as quick, like, combinations, like, with turns and stuff, like, between Linda and Weir. So it was either Linda or Weir who would try to get it to Brun. So they would enter the box, they would pass between each other, and then try to get it to Brun. So there was also that. I mean, when they're not doing it directly, like, getting inside there, they try to get it to Brun like that. And not long, like, from the box to the center of the box. So yeah, I don't know, like, she Linda had Linda had an exceptionally good game, right? Like kind of like she was like whenever you were looking at our like she was in defense as well. She was whenever we had problems with the Ajibade, whenever Olga lost a duel against Ajibade, you would see Linda coming there, like pulling back and helping defend as well. So she did everything. She did a lot, and she would also see in the second half when Atenea got on. There was a there was a counter attack in the second, like I don't know, towards the end. She Linda started it, went a bit to the inside, towards a bit to the right side to get it to Atenea, and yeah, Atenea then went on a run, and it was a good chance as well. So yeah, she did everything. Like we know about her counters, we know about her explosiveness, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I posted a visualization about Linda's performance in this game. If you share that, we can discuss about what you're talking, how she was incisive in this game. And, it's absolutely correct. And here we have her performance from this game. And, you know, as you were talking about as well, she put in a defensive shift as well. She was up there recovering possession. As you can see in her defensive action map, we can see she made 9 recoveries, which was the highest by any player in this game. And some of them, like this, you look at the split, 5 of them coming in our own half and 4 of them coming in the opposition half. So it just goes on to show that, she was involved not just in the attacking side of things, scoring the first one and sort of assisting the other, because the other one was given as an own goal. So there is no assist, but she created that chance, right? Like she dribbled past, she generated that yard of space for putting that ball in before, uh, Gabby turned it in accidentally or whatever, But she was absolutely phenomenal. Like she was doing her defensive bit, and what I really like about Linda is the way she runs with the ball. That is my favorite part about her. If you look at her ball carries in this game, just look at how consistently and how proactively she is looking to attack that box. Every single progressive carries is an incisive one, is getting into the box on that left half space, attacking the byline, and then trying to play the cutback or trying to put a cross in, or put a ball across for whoever is running into the box, or for Brune who is stationed there, right? Like those sort of uh, carries are always very threatening for the opposition to deal with, because if you foul the player there, you concede a penalty. But if you let her run, you're allowing her to create that chance. So it's a two-sided thing, right? Like the defenders have to be very careful. They have to either be perfect with their tackling, or just try to block the pass that she's going to play, and that is a very high risk thing that the opposition has to deal with. Anything you want to add, Kanita, in this?
Yeah, so in these defensive actions, you can see like at least like three of these happened like after Olga. So Olga would be, a bit more above, and she would lose a duel, and Linda would come to help. Like I think these three can count as such, with, after Olga. And this is the past what I was talking about. So you can see one of them on the left side, and then she but so yeah, I mean that's a counter. And yeah, I mean, yeah, usually through carries and through this pass, I mean, you can see how we kind of rely on her on counters, like from both sides, and she started this on the right side as well. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
I mean, that is why our attack is often that left-sided, because when you look at those carries and those balls, it is very clear that whenever she picks up the ball, and a lot of those carries, if you look at them, I'll just point it out. A lot of these carries, let me just change the color real quick here. a lot of these carries are originating from the halfway line. Like look at those, and they are originating. These ones are originating from near the touch line. So she's picking up the ball in these wide areas, and then she's running onto it. And a lot of these are also like these are ending on the inside. Like most of her carries, the end location for those carries are towards the inside of the pitch. So that is what we talk about, right? The synergy between Olga and Linda. Why is it so good? Because Linda likes to do this thing where she picks up the ball near the touch line or near the halfway line. She runs with it inside, and that allows Olga to be the supporting player on the overlap, which she likes to do. Olga isn't your typical underlapping player who would get on the inside and operate from the half spaces. She's not that sort of a fullback. She's better utilized when she's allowed to, overlap and consistently attack that left hand side. And I think, one thing that I really would have liked is because watching Savava now at Lyon, she's racking up assists and everything. The one thing that I would have liked to see is watching Linda and Savava in tandem for a while, because Savava loves to overlap. Savava has great crosses on her. We have Brune, who is great in aerial duels as well. So this thing would have worked really nicely, at least on paper, but things did not happen, whatever. But it would have been a really, really nice thing to see. But yeah, I mean, Linda's performance in this game, absolutely brilliant. It's not just the fact that she is maximizing her own output, but with her performances, with the way she plays, it's perfectly fits in for other players as well, which is great, which is a sign of a very good player. So incredible performance from her. And we often keep saying that the Chelsea first leg as well, where we suffered a heavy defeat, it was after she came on that we started to look a little more threatening, right? Like, she is the player, whenever she gets on the pitch, does not matter who the opposition is, she'll give in her best performance and she'll change the flow of the game. And honestly, like, she's one of the best players in the world already for me. So yeah, I mean, brilliant player, brilliant performance from her as well. But yeah, let's let's shift our discussion to slightly more Atleti oriented and slightly more what happened on the pitch, because we went 2-0 up, and then Atleti had a spectacular strike from Silvia Lloris, and I mean, you cannot blame Misa for that. It went down as a Misa own goal, but like, honestly, I don't know. Like, that was so well struck. It hit the post, and then unfortunately it hit the back of Misa, and it trickled in. But honestly, like, that strike was quite something. And speaking of Sylvia, I think if you share that pass network, Kanita, we can talk about Sylvia, and we can talk about what Atleti were trying to do, what that we briefly touched upon as well. I'll hand it over to you first, and I'll take your thoughts before I go on to break down this passing network or and everything that we discussed so far, backed with data. But what did you make of Sylvia's performance? Because I feel like she was their best player, and she's a really young player, has a handful amount of minutes already, a handful amount of experience in the league. And the best part is she can play anywhere. Like, she can play defensive midfield if you want her to. She can play in the back line. She can play as an attacking midfielder. She can do everything. So, a very, very solid player. What are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, I think she had two shots, if I'm not mistaken, in the whole game. But yeah, this is the her goal. I don't know. I mean, she shot it from my house. Like the Spaniard said, say, So I'm just translating it. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't exactly know what to describe what she did, but I did see her a lot especially in that, like whenever we were at their box, and she was there, and well, they did have like a double block sometimes. So for me, it was hard to pick up individual players. So yeah, but yeah, I think it's fitting that she got this goal, and well, yeah, sure, it wasn't in the end, it wasn't hers. It should have been, honestly. But what's fair is fair, I guess. And yeah, she made the game a bit more stressful towards the end.
Yeah,
So
it was
thank you,
like
Sylvia. Yeah.
I was honestly expecting them to equalize at that point because I know these games, and these games, this is the way it goes. Just one goal and the momentum completely shifts, and then we were scrambling. They were trying to attack and hurt us in that moment, and it was scary those last few minutes. But once again,
We
like
also started time wasting in 70th minute. And you can
yeah,
hear the boos and all, like starting from 70th minute. So yeah, I mean, fair enough. Didn't want to concede.
yeah, it was the booze, and also like this was one of the games that I was watching with commentary, which I usually do not do. And oh my God, the commentary was wow.
Yeah.
Every single line the commentator was saying, I was like, oh my God, dude, like just be subtle about your biases at least. Like he was
Yeah.
just going at it, like, oh my God. He was straight up saying when we started time wasting, like you said in the 70th minute, and in these games, even if the opposition is doing it, yes, it's frustrating, but you have to be like, okay, this is that they want to win the game, right? Like we want to win the game, we want to waste as much time as possible. We are in the lead. We would do that, and if the opposition does that as well, as frustrating as it is, I accept it. Like fine, like
Mm.
you have the right to do that. You are in the lead. There is no point trying to attack and make it an open game. You need 3 points. We want 3 points as well. So it's fine. But my God, the commentator went at it. It's like, oh, they are wasting time again. Something they know about very well. I'm like, wow, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we had a comment under one of the posts on Las Blancas saying the commentator was, oh my God, it was terrible to listen to. So
It was
yeah.
I usually have games on mute when I'm watching. I don't like to hear because a lot of the commentators like don't add much insight. So but this time I decided to go with it, and I regret it thoroughly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's let's get back to the game. And yeah, I mean, the reason I want to talk about Sylvia is, of course, her strike, that goal, but also the fact that you mentioned, our right hand side was not as effective, was partly because of her as well. Her defensive stint in here, like this is where she was playing. This is the player that we are, talking about. Let me just quickly change color. Yeah. So this is the player that we are talking about, right? Like she locked in this left hand side, which was our right, and that is why if you look at this, like Angeldahl and Shayla, they did not really create much threat, because if you look at this legend here, the coloring of the players is based on what threat they created with their passes. And if you look at our right hand side compared to our left hand side, these two players were two of the highest threat creators in our side, whereas the right hand side was not. And partly the reason for that is Sylvia, because she locked in that left hand side really well. She was doing her defensive work really well. She was attacking, and this is the thing, like I was having this discussion with Isa as well, because Sylvia has played like a couple of seasons already in the league, right? She's only 20 still, and she's a very versatile player. She has a good physique, she's built well, she can play. That is what allows her to play in defense, in defensive midfield, in attacking midfield. She has that skill set as well, and she did that, playing as the left-sided center back sort of. She shut down that left hand side really really well, I feel. And I have to commend her for that. But I just hope that she progresses well with Atleti, because there has been times where good players, good young players at Atleti have not progressed that well. So I hope that she continues on that part. She was one of their highest threat creators as well, via her passes. So she did it all. That is what I'm trying to portray. Like I feel like she was a really good player for Atleti in this game. And looking at this pass map once again, the passing network that we talked about Atleti not being interested. Look at this. Like, look at how isolated Ajibade is. She is the only player before they made the first sub that was on average taking touches in our half. Like the rest, everyone is near the touch line. Like nobody is even in the final third, right? Nobody is trying to play that. And that is what it was. Like these many players when you have in a block, it's going to be difficult to break down, and it was break difficult to break down. So yeah, I mean, our shape was quite nice. I feel like there were good exchanges, especially on this left hand side. If you look at this trio that we are talking about consistently, Olga, Linda, and Weir, those three were really really good. And look at Linda, she has been creating threat with her passes to Brune as well, so has connections with a lot of players here. So yeah, I mean, just reiterating the point with some visualization that helps us, hit home what we were talking about with Atleti and with us as well. So yeah, I mean, that is about it, I guess, for from the game.
Yeah,
Do you?
I have one more thing because something you were talking about. So I just want to explain what happened with our right hands. Like, and now I remember Sylvia better. Okay, so this isn't a special occasion or anything, just something that I can use to explain. So okay, so this is our okay. So the farther side from us from the camera is our right hand side. Obviously, this is the first half. So here, Angelda, you have okay, you can't see it. Sorry. So Angelda, and here you have Shay. So this happened a lot. So it was either this or when we were back in our half, Angeldal would be waiting on the right wing. So it was either this with a lot of space, here between the two, or when we were back, when she was waiting up. So it was a bit weird with our right hand side. Anyway, here we have Toletti trying to see what to do. So this ball goes back to Mendes. Okay, so she looks around for like 2 seconds, goes back, and then she passes it to the middle here. And so yeah, she goes towards Maria Mendes. Okay, so she goes towards Maria Mendes and she goes here. So there's a lot of space around here. However, then these players, well, no, actually, these two players, this player and this player, will go and close in on Shea very soon. So as soon as Mendes passes to the inside to Angeldal. Angeldal goes a bit wide, carries the ball a bit wide, and passes it to Shea. So I will just show the quick screenshot there. Okay. So see, now we have Angeldal with the ball here. This is Shea, and she will pass it to her. However, there's no way out. The Atleti players have already closed in. And yeah, that's what happened the whole game. So they were closing in on us. It was Sylvia a lot of times as well there in the closing. And so yeah, I was really focused on our, right hand side in the reward. So yeah, I had to show this. I had two
Yeah,
screenshots.
and this is the thing, like this is the other thing that we also touched upon briefly in that Chelsea pod. See, if you look at the previous screenshot, Angeldal is with her back to goal, right? Angeldal plays best when she's facing the play, when she's facing the goal, rather than with her back to goal. because she's not one of those players that will receive and then quickly turn and pivot and change the direction of the play. She's not one of those. She's not Caroline Weir, who can play very well with her back to goal. And this is where it was, Angeldahl did not get the chance to receive the ball facing play. She was receiving the ball with her back to goal. And then the time that she takes to turn around, that is when Atleti knew that they can close her down and they can push us back once again. Because if you look at the next screenshot that you have shared, we are back. Angeldahl could not turn in the time that she was allotted, right? And that is the thing. This works when you're utilizing Shea to move the ball forward, but it is very difficult to do that with Angeldahl in the middle, and especially if somebody is playing on her back, because Angeldahl cannot swiftly receive with somebody on her back, with her back to goal, and then turn around and change the direction of play. That is not something that she is the best at. She is best utilized playing in the right half space, facing play, and playing those layoffs to the fullback who is crashing, or for the attacking midfielder who is making the run in behind and picking those balls. That is where she excels. So she has to be facing the play, not with her back to goal, and that is what they utilize. And I think they were really good at the closing down part that you mentioned. They were really quick with it, because here the simple thing was to switch, and that switch, even if it came, it was like Silvia and all were very quick to Silvia and Ottermarine were really quick to sort of close down the players on our right hand side and not allow us that time to pick the ball inside the box. So yeah, I mean, this was a really good example, honestly, very, very good. But yeah, so this was one of the things. And the other thing that I would like to just briefly touch upon in this game was, there was a lot of chatter around Caroline Weir's performance, because she wasn't on the score sheet, she did not assist, she missed a couple of chances, and people are calling it a bad game. Now see, with the reason it is a bad game for her is because of the standards that she has set. If not for that own goal, that would have been her goal, right? That she was the player that was going to touch the ball, and Gabby got in front of her, I think, and touched the ball. So the second goal could have been hers. Narrative would have changed. But I feel like it wasn't a bad performance. It was a quiet one, maybe. Yes, she wasn't as influential as we are used to seeing her, but those expectations have only been created because of her, right? This is a player that has carried the team, that is when she came on, she put the team on the back and she carried us, right? There were moments where we could not do anything, and then Caroline Weir would come off the bench and she would change the game and it would finish 5-1 or something, right? She is capable of that. So, while I agree it was a quiet game for her, I don't agree it was a bad performance. She was still very, very influential, I feel. She was moving right. She was key in creating chances. And that Linda goal also, the transition moment was quickly, she picked up the ball and she put Linda on for that carry that she did before the goal. So, these are little moments. Sometimes you miss chances. Finishing has a lot of variance as well. So it's fine. I don't think it was a bad performance. What do you think, Kanita, about Weir's performance in this game? I heard a bit of chatter around her performance in this game.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's mostly influenced by the two misses she had. Um, so yeah, I saw you posted her performance, the data behind it on Twitter, and I saw a quote tweet saying, "Oh yeah, besides the misses, she didn't have a bad game." Like some people were actually surprised when they saw it like that, laid out like that, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was a quieter game, and you mentioned and all that. Uh I think the duo, like the combination with Linda, really stood out. Like those two like complete each other whenever they're on the they're on pitch, and with the Olga on the side. Like I don't think that Weir can have a bad game with this sort of synergy we have on the left side anyway. Yeah, a bit quieter on like individual part, but yeah, I don't know. It was weird to see like how many like, oh, it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. I don't know why was it bad game, but yeah,
Yeah, she did not score, so it has to be a bad game apparently. I
she
don't know.
assisted it.
Yeah, I mean, if you count that as a assist, I mean, it was more of a Linda's doing. But the narrative
Counted.
would have been completely different if she would have got the touch ahead of Gabby and we would have scored that second goal. Then she would have had
Yep.
one goal, one assist, and that would have been a masterclass.
Yep.
This is the difference
Logic.
between a good performance and a bad performance on Twitter at times, because you can play bad, but if you score a goal and then you are the best player on the pitch somehow. But yeah, maybe a quieter game by her standards, but not a bad performance. No chance. Uh, so yeah, I think that brings us to the end of discussion about this game. The other thing that we would like to touch upon briefly is Yasmim. Now we have finally have a backup for Olga, and I tweeted this.
Imagine.
I tweeted that we have finally a backup for Olga. Hopefully her minutes are managed. She has been pretty overworked throughout the season, starting every game, playing every single minute possible almost, and there was somebody who could tweet. I don't know who it was. Somebody was like backup for Olga. So I think we need to discuss a little bit and talk about Yasmim. So Yasmim joins us from Corinthians, from Brazil. She was a part of Brazil's Olympic squad that went to the finals as well. In 2024, she played on the left hand side, but would I say that she had the best Olympics? Probably not. I think she was okay. She had an assist in that Spain game that Brazil ended up winning 4-2 or something. She got an assist in that game. So, and looking at some of her performances from the Olympics, and I managed to watch one game from the Corinthians. But what I would like to say is what I gathered is she is um a decent player. Like she has the level, she can play for us, no doubt about it. But like she isn't the world's best left back or anything. Her play style is more likely that she will hug the touchline. That is what she likes to do. And a lot of the times in Brazil as well, when they were playing in the Olympics, a lot of the times they preferred the other side to attack. They did not prefer the left hand side. She is decent with her final balls as well. Like some of the crosses that she hits are not the best. The accuracy can be better. The way she hits them with the curl, with the power, those things can be fine tuned a little bit. But most importantly, I think this signing isn't is very important uh, to rest Olga, because I think it is very evident that Olga is the preferred choice, and Olga is the uh, one of the first names on the team sheet, given her position and given her role, and she is the captain as well, and everything. So Olga will probably play most of the games, but in games that needs managing, I think Yasmin is a very good option. The nature of her to sort of hug the touchline and provide that width bodes really well with Linda, who as we discussed, Linda is somebody who likes to come on the inside, and having an overlapping left back is always good. One thing that I would also like to see from her more is eagerness to sort of be in the final third, and I think that will come because we'll have a lot of the possession. So naturally, she'll move up and she'll be positioned higher up. And yeah, I mean, I feel like she's a sort of left back who will provide us width. She has a good work rate defensively. In terms of duels and all, I think she's all right. She'll win some, she'll lose some. It's not like she's the best tackler, or she's best at intercepting or anything. She's decent at dueling. She'll win more than 50% of her challenges, and she'll stick out wide. I would like to see improvement in her final ball because I personally was not that impressed with her final ball. I would like to see more from her final ball, a little more variety, a little more precision, I must say. So yeah, let's see how she does. But I think from a squad perspective, this was a really good move. I think we finally addressed the situation that needed to be addressed in the squad, and I am pretty happy about it. Now we have two full backs each. Like we have two left backs and we have two players who can play right backs, and we can try out different schemes from them, right? And I think that is good. We have backup finally in defense for every single position, which is always a good sign, since now we'll have Super Cup, we'll have the Champions League next month as well. So having these sort of backups is very essential. Kanita, do you have anything to add on Yasmim?
Well, not much from what you already said, but I know that I looked at the general heat map for Yasmim, and she's definitely more offensively oriented, and yeah, she does hug the touchline. But okay, one more thing is, so she's 28. We're not bringing, an
Yeah.
inexperienced left back, as we're bringing someone with enough years, and I think she was in Corinthians for, I think, like 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, or something. So yeah, I don't know. Plus she's leaving Brazil, and maybe there will be some time for adjustment as well in that part. But yeah, I mean, she's experienced enough. I mean, we're bringing an experienced player for to be a backup for Olga, and to let to let Olga finally rest, except for random cup games against Villarreal. So
Even
yeah,
then,
I think this is a good
even
move.
then she had to play a few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So hopefully she gets to rest of entire game in the coming match weeks, I guess. But
Yeah.
from a squad building point of view, I think this is a very good signing from a squad building point of view. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, I think that brings us to the end of the pod. Uh,
MVP.
oh yes, I think there shouldn't be any doubt about the MVP in this
Yeah.
game. Has to be Linda.
Yeah,
Has to be
obviously. And she's the
100%.
official MVP as well. I mean, who else? So yeah,
Yeah,
Linda.
Linda Caicedo, always. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, let's bring back Linda's corner, I guess, from the next pod. Maybe Linda and Weir do something like they always do something, some back heel, some dribbles and something. We can talk about that. But yeah, I think that is about it from the game. Looking at the table, I think the second position is also pretty much in the bag, it seems like, with this victory, because now we are 6 points ahead of Atleti with 2 games in hand, which will take us to 12 points if we win those games in hand, and that is an unsaleable lead. I feel like that there is no chance. We can focus better on the cup competitions now. We can play a slightly rotated lineup in the league games where we are expected to win, and I think I would like to see that more. It's all about management, and it is all about being ready for the right moments now. So yeah, this season Liga F has been weird. Levante are very down in the table. They have just scored 13 goals in the 13 games this season, which is wild. But yeah, I mean, they have been decimated as well. Atleti have been struggling. They have been playing very passive football all season under the new manager. And yeah, Real Sociedad got thrashed by Barcelona this week, 6-0. So it's there's clearly a very big gulf now between Barcelona, then there's us, and then there's the rest. Like there is a sort of a gulf that has begun to surface between us and the other teams as well this season, I feel. So yeah, I mean, it's what it is, I guess.
Yeah,
You want
I'm
to add
looking at
something?
the standings. I'm looking at the standings. So this is interesting. So since Atleti lost, and right behind them is Athletic and then Real Sociedad with both a game less. They're only 2 points behind. So any of the two teams, and I mean, it will be a fun battle, probably between these three teams, you know. But yeah, for now. So I think this week there might be a change in, in the top three, maybe. I don't know. But
Top
yeah,
three. Top three. No, this is the third position.
yeah, the third in the top three. Yeah, I don't care. But yeah, and we
Yeah.
play Levante literally next, like in midweek game. So yeah, we'll see.
Yes. So that is our next game, and we will be back with the pod as always. In that game, you'll probably be hearing from me a lot because I will be live tweeting in that game. So yes, the games once again, even in the new year, are coming thick and fast because we have a lot of competitions lined up. We had a couple of postponed games, so those will also come into play. So yeah,
This
a
was
lot
also a
is happening.
rescheduled game.
Yeah.
It should have been at the end of January, but because of Super Cup. It's what it was now.
So it's all happening, guys. There will be a lot of Las Blancas this month and in the coming months. Hopefully, we go deep into Champions League and we get to record more pods and we get to bring on more guests on the pod. So, yeah, I guess that is it. And until next time, a la Madrid.
Real Madrid.